What if I told you we had a perfectly preserved record of Jesus Christ's childhood, complete with his own personal Indiana Jones moments? It turns out we do, and this pseudo-gospel is surprisingly racier than anything you've seen from Mel Gibson. It's time for the first ever episode of Bizarre Bible, where we explore the mysteries and stories that paint a vivid picture of young Jesus, his miracles, his challenges, and the unique experiences that shaped his early life. Scholars estimate that this gospel was written sometime between 140 and 250 CE, meaning it was written after the canonical Gospels but before the actual New Testament canon was finalized. This makes it part of what scholars call the deuterocanonical books, or books that were almost cut. But why did it fail to make the squad? Well, for starters, it's not super complimentary of Jesus' mother Mary. And remember, Mary is kind of a big deal in Christian theology. We don't know everything about the criteria the early church used to decide what books to canonize, but we do know that early Christians valued books that supported the divinity of Jesus and his immaculate conception. The Infancy Gospel of Thomas doesn't do that. Now, this isn't to say that it denies Jesus' divinity. In fact, it opens with an epigraph that reads, "Truly these signs did not all happen, but he performed many other signs as well." So yeah, it's totally a prequel. But while the canonical Gospels tend to present Mary as this flawless vessel of God's grace, the Infancy Gospel of Thomas presents her as, well, kind of a normal person. Like at one point she gets pissed at Jesus for letting a fig tree bear fruit in the middle of winter, which prompts Jesus to turn her water into wine, not because she asked him to, but because she was mad. That's right. The Virgin Mary throws shade at baby Jesus, and he responds by ruining her home economics lesson. Who's the real Mary here? Sorry, let's keep going. There are 7 stories in total, each detailing some miracle that Jesus performs as a child. For instance, in one particularly Indiana Jones-esque adventure, Jesus is accosted by some kids who want to kill him, because that's what kids do. But Jesus simply disappears and reappears on top of a pillar. Then when his mom comes to find him, he asks her if she's looking for him, which kind of makes me think that maybe she wasn't looking for him at all. That would be pretty awkward. In another story, Jesus heals a boy who fell down and broke his jaw. And when the boy's father demands that Jesus pay for the damages, Jesus simply looks at his hand and says, "Do you want to be paid in full?" Then poof, Dad gets paid. In yet another story, Jesus and his disciples are invited to a wedding feast, but they arrive too late to partake in the festivities, and apparently that's just rude. So Jesus turns water into wine. Wait, I thought he turned water into wine because Mary was mad that the fig tree wasn't in season. Yeah, me too. But there's another detail in this story that's worth noting. See, when Jesus hands Mary the wine he just created, she says, "What are you doing? They have already drawn lots for the first and the last cup." Now, I don't know about you, but the idea of first and last cups at a wedding feast sounds an awful lot like communion. And the drawing lots thing reminds us of the Last Supper, where Jesus says that one of his disciples will betray him. So is this gospel trying to tell us something about Jesus' future plans? Is that why it didn't make the cut? Did early Christians see this text as a bit too heretical? Or do they know something we don't? Look, I can't answer those questions. I'm just the host. But what I can do is recommend that you read this wacky little gospel for yourself and decide what it means for you. You can find it pretty easily online. So go ahead, give it a read, then come back here and tell me what you think in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, then I suggest checking out another video on my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest explorations into ancient texts and historical mysteries. You can also click the link in the video description to expand your understanding of Christianity's hidden roots with the must-read books. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.